Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sean. So I'm meeting a friend here in Hongdae today. His name is Jin. Jin is really cool because he's Korean, but he learned how to speak English pretty well, mostly by studying English here in Korea. He's got a really interesting story. Anyway, let's go and meet him now. Let's do it. Hey, how's it going?
I'm really good. I'm happy to be here and thanks for having me.
What do you do?
I'm currently working in a sports brand, international sports brand, but I used to work as an English teacher in private school for 6 years.
Wow.
That's what I did.
I think a lot of people really think that you have to live abroad for many years in order to, learn how to speak English well. What has your experience been?
Of course, it's really good if you can send yourself out or if you can study abroad.
Yeah.
But for me, I couldn't really afford it. But I improved my English a lot by hanging out with a lot of people from different countries.
Yeah.
And just drinking and mingling,
Yeah.
just talking my daily life, a lot of things. I think that helps me a lot.
How long have you been studying English seriously as an adult?
I think ever since I went to Navy life.
Yeah.
I think that was the point where I started learning English really seriously.
What was your life like before going to the Navy? You didn't really care about English that much, or what was that like?
Correct. Just before Navy, I couldn't tell the difference between I love you or I'm love you. I was like that bad. Like grammar, vocabulary, I was so bad. Like I never went to private school or English school. I just always go to PC방, just internet cafe.
What game?
At the time, Maple Story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened in the Navy? Why did going to the Navy suddenly make you interested in English?
Meeting a lot of people from Navy, there were so many interpreter or translator because we were working with American soldier. Like there's a lot of software engineer from America, Atlanta. That's why we require a lot of translator and interpreter. And just hanging out with them was so helpful. And when they were gathering together, they used to speak English. It's like their first language is English.
Are they from Korea or are they Korean Americans?
Why? Some of them are dual citizenship between Korea and America because growing up they read the book in English. And they had a discussion in English instead of Korean because all of them study abroad, Canada, America, England. So it's like their first language is English. So as I approached them, they were, how are you? I went to blah, blah, blah. And they, the senior is coming, me. And they, 나 먹었어, blah, blah. But at the time, I never thought it was, looking down on me. Or I think it was, consideration for me.
Yeah, they wanted you to be able to understand.
Right. So what I did was just asking 2 questions every single day. Like how to order coffee in America? What if I face racist? How do I react? And can you tell me the cultural differences between America or Korea?
So I guess if someone's living in Korea, if they can find some foreign friends from a language exchange or a university or something, and they just hang out with them just like you did, maybe they can improve a lot, right? So I think a lot of Koreans are thinking, how do I make foreigner friends who speak English?
Well, I've been thinking about that. And actually I'm from, Ujeongbu, which is pretty far from Hongdae or Itaewon or Gangnam.
Yeah.
So for me, the application, the language exchange application was really helpful.
Really? Okay. And which ones did you use?
I used to use HelloTalk and Meet. So instead of actually meeting in person or meeting up and drinking, I used to talk on the phone with them. Even though there's a big time difference between America and Korea. But it's when they wake up, I go to bed. So for me, I think I have 10 friends. So Monday I talk to Canadian friends on the phone. And Tuesday I talk to New Zealand friend. Wednesday Australia, just like that.
Which accent is the hardest?
For me, British. British, but countryside.
Hard for me too.
Even for you.
Yeah.
Texas accent is pretty cool. It's it sounds like music.
Texas, it's like a
flow.
cowboy.
And New York is very modern. Just like I said, if you are not sure about those 2 sentences you made, you can just ask your friends, I have 2 sentences, but I don't know which one sounds more natural or correct. Should I say this one, or am I supposed to say that in this circumstance? They're gonna correct you. I don't really invest in my time in grammar. Instead of learning grammar, I think I just learned the whole sentence
That's awesome.
I think I've invested my time in just daily conversation or expression or my thoughts or quote, quote of the day, something like that.
How has your life improved as your English has improved?
Being able to speak English is actually really helpful for making money in Korea.
Oh.
So for me, working as an English teacher, but other than that, I also do like personal session. I run a lot of English like one-on-one class.
These days too?
These days too.
Oh.
So after work, there's Uljiro City. There's a lot of financial workers working there, and they are dying to learn English.
Oh really?
So instead of they going to school, just we have a like one-on-one English personal session.
Oh wow. And
so I basically it's kind of my second job.
wow, so that's like a nice side income, right?
Right.
Awesome. Just by learning English.
Sure. So I make pretty good money. I think the second thing was making international friends, so that I can learn like culture differences. I was dying to know what other people think about Korea instead of like nationalism. Like I love BTS, I love Blackpink, I love Son Heung-min in UK, but I just want to hear like what are their real thoughts. There could be like negative one or bad things to motivation.
How do you keep yourself motivated? For you, I guess it was traveling, making money, dating people, making friends,
and imagination.
And in your imagination, you want to meet, Jay Park someday.
Trump, Rose.
Yeah, Trump, Rose. And okay, that's really great. Awesome. What's one thing that someone can start doing today? A little thing that can help them improve their English?
I think no matter where you're from or no matter where you're living right now, there's two options: meeting up with people in person or just using application.
Yeah.
And both, I don't think they both.
No excuse. Yeah.
So it's basically free.
Yeah.
Hello Talk is free. Miffy is free as well. And just hanging out with them, just drinking some cocktail. I think it's really good. Have conversation about like culture differences.
Yeah.
And
make it fun too.
Making fun too as well. And
awesome. So you're saying that you can pretty much practice speaking everywhere. Study the patterns.
Study the pattern,
Study
idiom,
the
expression.
sentences instead of the words.
Written or spoken by native speakers.
Right.
For sure.
Okay, cool. And have a positive mindset. Imagine yourself speaking. These are really good tips you've given people. I think a lot of Koreans get nervous because they want to speak English perfectly.
Right.
They want every vocabulary and grammar to be perfectly used in a sentence. What do you have to say to people who are so stressed about being perfect?
I think it's all about confidence and mindset.
Yeah.
So let's say we're gonna go on the street and ask pedestrian from different country, and hey, let's have a conversation in Korean. Like, what are the odds of them being able to speak Korean really well?
Yeah.
So for me, that case just exactly in English as well. So I think you don't have to be worried about grammar mistake or vocabulary. Just it's solely for communication.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just convey your thoughts. Oh, I'm hungry, so let's have some lunch or let's get some sandwich.
Yeah. Every single sentence doesn't have to be perfect.
Sure. It's all about communication.
Yeah. I feel like there's a good, really awesome saying. It's like, perfect is the enemy of progress. Perfect is the enemy of progress. So if you're too worried about being perfect, you're not going to progress.
Right.
Right. So I can see that a lot with you. Like, you speak really well. You're confident. I think you're very extroverted. You probably have many friends.
I think so. Like international friends, Korean friends.
Very small English mistakes you make, but it's really not a big problem. And I still think you're a very good role model to a lot of people.
Well, while I'm filming this video, I probably make a lot of English grammar mistakes or vocabulary wrong, picking up like wrong words. But I don't really care about like what people think about me. I learn English just to convey my thoughts.
Yeah, cool. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Did you enjoy this video? If so, please let me know in the comments down below.
You can criticize my English, but not me personal things. Please.
If you do that, he's gonna kill you. All right, guys. All right. See you in the next video. Bye.